So, beautiful heart, this is part two of the planetary shift of consciousness, where Ada will give more examples and will explain the shift through her own experiences from who we was and who we are, and actually the power of becoming and transforming from the inside. So, thank you, Ada.
Thank you too.
So,
This is
let me hear.
yeah, I mentioned a little bit about past lives in Atlantis in your last episode, or yeah, last episode, because I know it sounds maybe very out there for many people, but it's actually important to mention, at least personally for me, because what we are completing, I mentioned in the last episode also that what we are completing right now with this whole process of the shift of consciousness on Earth, it happens through our own personal experiences because we are connected. So this shift of consciousness is a completion of the last fall of Atlantis. There are also other processes longer than that, but that's very important to talk about
Hmm.
because of the blockage of the DNA that happened on after the last fall of Atlantis when we fell into a lower dimension on the planet. Now, when we are racing again, we are cleaning out that memory from the dark ages of 12,000 years where our DNA was sealed. So, so now when we are opening again to the 12 DNA strand from having only two, uh, it means we are purging and clearing a lot to make space for more energy, for new, for renewing and liberating the soul. So that I wanted to just repeat that because this is in a bigger scale of what's going on right now with the shift of consciousness of the planet through our experiences. And for me personally, it sounds maybe out there, like I said, with Atlantis, but for me personally, this is very much related to how my life was designed in this life too, with my traumas and how I shifted my traumas into my superpowers, into trusting myself more, into channeling abilities instead of being a sponge, of being this wounded healer, the wounded empath, just that
Hmm.
just took on a lot of crap from others just because I was sensitive, and I thought that as a compassionate thing to do, and accept people as they are. All this love and light that you have a lot in the spiritual communities is actually a trauma, not
Agree.
being able to put boundaries, not being able to speak up, not saying no, and judging this little bit like assertive way of being as something aggressive. No, this is the life force. This is you, your fullest potential, choosing what's in alignment with one's higher way of being, which one's fuller potential, which what is empowering basically. That self love
And to
is,
protect
yeah.
that energy and yourself, you have to be able to stand on your own feet and to speak up for yourself and to put boundaries, because it's like also in the same time a protection of something bigger than us.
Exactly. So trusting that more and the energy within how you want to feel, that this empowered state of being, it might trigger others, but
Oh
that's
yeah.
also part of the process. Triggers are very important. Those are the way showers of what we need to look at and what we need to change. These are initiations. So the less and less I care about how other people view me, what they think of me, how they feel about me, even though I'm really sensitive still, feel my surroundings. I feel what people think. I feel what they feel. I feel the energies around me. But I'm choosing again and again, again and again, how I want to feel, what's
Ex-
empowering for me, how I can keep my spirit alive, because that's my responsibility to take care of. No one else's. No one will value me unless I value myself first. So we need to have a healthy relationship with ourselves in order to have balanced relationship with others after it. But the traumas I was living with before uh, was that I didn't trust my own energy. I didn't think, I felt that it was maybe unconsciously somehow selfish to be in this empowered state of being, of
Mm.
prioritizing myself. It's like this wounded healer. So, but what I, so it came from my childhood growing up in a very abusive environment with a stepmom who was very manipulative. Because I growing up like that, a child doesn't know anymore how to trust one's own feelings in the body, because the adult says one thing but feels something else. So
Mm.
it's not coming from
Confusion.
the truth. Yeah, so it's growing up like that also makes one less trust oneself. And then when you're super sensitive, you also always have to walk on eggshells also. That's also like but that I'm really grateful for that, because that actually has developed my psychic abilities. That made me so sensitive. That makes me so connected to my senses, to energies and how I feel, and the subtle senses, thanks to the trauma. But the trauma is always a burden until it's reversed, until you know how to alchemize your own energy so that you can come from a more empowered state of being. Until then, it will always be a burden. So trauma is where your gifts lies within. But you need to come to a point where you're actually transmuting it all into a superpower instead of a burden. So before, I was more of a sponge. So I could feel everything, but everything came through me, and I was just channeling other people's personalities, ways of being, and like I was really lost, and other people didn't know me either who I was, and they didn't take me seriously because I was kind of like everywhere. So that trauma, when it had to be transmuted into my superpower, I had to go back to Atlantis, because that
Mm.
was a life where I was totally embodying my fullest potential of a multidimensional soul. In that life, we were aware of us as energy beings. We were aware of our unique ways that we were channeling. We are all unique souls. So it's about trusting those abilities and how we process, how we can see things from inside, from feeling everything inside, the subtle senses. So we worked a lot with channeling sounds, high frequency sounds through us, because that was a way to transmute energy, to alchemize everything, to shift everything from low vibration to higher, low vibration to higher. That was my role in that life in Atlantis, to protect the areas. And there was like, we knew how to connect to these crystal powers, crystalline technologies through our own bodies, through the presence. So I had, for example, this kind of a pillar of light that was a crystal technology, um, and I was able to connect with that higher frequency in this kind of like a meditative state. And then I knew how to generate also higher energy, because I knew how to alchemize things more quickly. So then also sounds that came through me were very high in the frequency. So this is what I do now again in this life. Basically the same thing that I did in Atlantis. Our earth and the society just looks very different in this life.
Mm.
But you can embody the same gifts that you had embodied in those lives. So for me to open my own inner channel, I had to remove a lot of blockages that were stagnant, because all the traumas that you store, all the patterns or the belief systems that are not real, that keep you smaller, that keep you in people pleasing, validation needing, needing maybe connection from the outside rather than being okay with being alone, and finding it from within more. All of these traumas, these wounds, are stored as memories in the body as consciousness. So they are also blockages. They are also involved as entities, but
Mm.
you can also call them, they can also be implants, because that's how the DNA strands were sealed, like I said. So, but you don't have to name them. It's just about going into those blockages, stagnant energies in the body as memory, and then purging them and releasing them, transmuting them to make space. So when you mix, I nowadays after that I feel open here inside. I feel like I'm more coming from inside my body, and I feel I'm still as sensitive as before to the energies, the feelings, the thoughts of people, places around me, whatever situations I am in. But I know how to shift and alchemize things very quickly from inside my presence, because I can choose more the inner alignment. I can choose more to like, I don't want this, so I'm gonna explode my energy. I'm gonna like, I can choose to like raise my energy. And that's just all a based on a way of presence,
Mm-hmm.
being in my body. Um, and having embodied this higher frequency, that's what it also means. So I can use my voice with a higher frequency also, that is more channeled. When you channel your voice, it's more of energy flow, you feel flowing through the body, so you can transmute the energies, the lower vibrations into higher. It's not singing, it's,
No.
I use overtones and undertones, and these are vibrations inside because my channel is open. Like
And
I
it
said,
feels,
I did that in Atlantis, and I
yes.
do it again. And now, when the channel is open, I know how to clear my own energy. I know how to stand in my own power, in my own truth, in my own presence, in my own inner alignment, how to say no energetically to what doesn't serve that, and also physically to say no what doesn't serve that, risking of people also leaving my life if that's even what's needed for me to be in alignment. That's empowered way of being. That's the channeling abilities being alive. That's the soul being liberated. That's where all we are all moving towards in this age. So me transforming my traumas in this life into my superpowers to become a generator instead of a sponge, that's bringing transformation to others too, actually,
Mhm.
naturally, because I'm doing it for myself, not to transform others. I become more magnetic, not because I need to, because the neediness is a stagnant energy. The not neediness is a flow of energy. So your magnetic field opens and becomes bigger. So you become more magnetic. And this is the generator within. So transforming my traumas from being a sponge into becoming a generator who I really am, that had to be done for me by going into the memories where I was living like that, which was Atlantis, before my DNA strands were sealed.
So you can have the memory into your body because you felt the experience in your body to remember how it actually felt. So in this now time to bring that back, that feeling, that presence, that all that.
Mm. Yeah, so that was what, like when we talked about the quantum field, that's what it is. Your higher self,
Yeah.
that higher version of you, that eternal part of you that is overlooking, overseeing your life, always knows what's for your highest good to experience, and to know what is for your highest good to know in this moment, so that you can know how to transmute and alchemize whatever you're going through right now. Um, and I know that many others too, who I've assisted with these soul journeys that I assist people with nowadays, have also benefited from going into this past life with Atlantis, not because they choose to. Their soul just urges to remember again who they are and how to really be that unique soul that they are designed to be by a higher intelligence that we can call divine orchestration or divine intelligence. It's amazing. We are all unique souls with unique abilities, unique channeling abilities, unique ways of authentically expressing our fullest potential, and how we uniquely alchemize everything, how we uniquely see and perceive and sense things beneath the scenes of what we see outside of us, and trusting this inner seeing more, the energy we feel inside more our body, trusting that more than what we see outside of us in this physical reality, actually also makes you manifest more of what's more in alignment with who you truly are, um, brings you more success, makes your magnetic field more big. It's kind of like you trust yourself more, what's within. Because if you trust that more, you know also that what you are embodying, that needs to be first in alignment before you put effort in something physically outside, before you start any projects. Because if you can embody that, what you're putting out there, before you put it out there, before you express it in the physical reality, embodying it first in your body, that is more powerful than anything. You can combine that with anything in life, like I said, and then it will always become good. But it's also having less attachment. If you know that, okay, this is not working out, and you don't try to push yourself. No, this is also what people call path of least resistance.
Mm,
So actually letting go of what you're holding on to is giving more flow, and the path might change, and that's also fine. Um, so yeah, it's amazing how people start to remember again their unique ways, and how to trust more universe in this way more, when they go into these memories and relive them in Atlantis. um, so it's a lot to catch up with, but also in this 12,000 years process, there are also a lot of wounds from being persecuted, for example, or this in these lower frequencies that we were living in on earth. So when we are purging all these traumas, on these, also grief
yeah,
from those lives, grief of separation, the grief of being killed for actually being in one's truth,
yeah.
embodying the truth, is also brings a lot of fears in this life. Like we don't want to show up like what we do now in your podcast actually. But I have gone through those layers within myself, so I know that this expansion of my energy shouldn't be something I should be scared of. We're not gonna be killed again in this life, but that grief is also important to feel, because that's actually alchemizing and opening your heart to a bigger love that is connected with the universe, connected with Earth's consciousness as a memory, with how we have uniquely walked on Earth, lifetime after lifetime. So we are healing ancestors. This is the way we also heal the ancestral lineage and the traumas through our own experiences.
So it's good to feel that grief because I feel like many people are afraid of their power because of the experience we had in many other past life.
Mm.
And now they're afraid of their own divinity, of their own power to speak their truth because of the fear that is a memory in the body.
Mm.
That's why again and again, feel and let it, feel and let it.
Exactly, and I've noticed many people also fear, unconsciously fear their own power
Yeah,
in
yeah.
soul level, because of what happened in Atlantis on the last fall. But the thing is that we shouldn't blame ourselves, because if we know that we are coming from an empowered state of being, from expressing ourselves fully and authentically, knowing how to place boundaries and knowing how to speak our truth and knowing how to embody our truth, our higher way of being, what empowers us, what is alignment with who we truly are, we just know it. So trusting that and knowing it and being it and empowering it, that's scary for many people unconsciously, because of the memories in Atlantis. Like it's not gonna happen again. It's
No.
never something that's gonna destroy anything from anyone else. If you are empowered with who you truly are, you are not.
Actually, it's elevating.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So this is also another fear, collective fear, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So it's like very important humans to be aware of what's going on and what kind of fear is coming. Because, for example, when I wake up, let's say like that, my soul, I was always saying this, and I don't understand it that moment, but I felt so strongly in my core. This time I want to make it right. This time I want to make it right, not understanding what was that about. When diving into my past life experience and having more experience, I understand why. Because me myself, I was afraid of that power, and maybe
Mm,
another past I fuck it up. but this time I will not fuck it up. I have to make it right, you know? So, yeah, it's some things that our human minds have hard time to catch up with, but trusting and feeling this beingness.
Yeah, but I also learned from this. This is maybe a little bit deeper, a deeper topic now, which is maybe hard to grasp. But I think it's important to mention it because it's part of this process right now on Earth. Is that this crystal technology that we knew how to access from within our bodies in Atlantis, this is all related to the consciousness of the planet. So
Yeah.
all these power spots that we knew how to connect to, we knew how to channel through us as higher energy, and with our channeling abilities, having our channels open in that life, that was a service for Mother Earth. In my memories, we didn't live in a selfish way. We didn't have any leaders. We were all unique with our unique abilities, unique roles in a society, just supporting one another, having. So that's the most empowered state of being, of working with each other too, of coming together in unity. You can only be united and harmony with each other if you trust your own self,
Yeah.
your own abilities. So we knew that in our life, and we knew how to connect, like I said, to these power spots, these ley lines and all that, to help to be always in harmony of the planet's consciousness. So because of the fall of Atlantis, all these ley lines were sealed, all these portals were reversed. So that also means our bodies portals were blocked, our bodies channels were sealed. So you see, it's both the same. Everything
Yes.
happens through our body. So we implanted these crystal technologies in the inner earth, and these are related to the pyramids of the planet. But this is all new information that will come more out slowly, slowly. This is quite new, I think, for many. But basically it's about when I've also experienced that. So this is how we knew how to live in Atlantis, but there's a lot to do in this life because of how much we need to unlock through our bodies. So when I have removed an implant from my body, a stagnant consciousness, and I made space, I feel more space, so I can more have a high frequency, more high flow through me, and have that channeling abilities more open, my inner channel open. That means I'm also assisting on behalf of others with my own process, and that means I'm also unlocking the planetary conscious. So if I have a channel open and I go to a new place, maybe where something happened energetically that damped that energy of that place in the nature, from people being killed there, or wars,
Mm.
someone just people being disconnected from their bodies, from the energy, that also damps the
Split.
energy grid of the planet.
Yeah.
So when you unlock something in your body and open, you when you go somewhere to that kind of place, you assist that area, that place to open that too. So removing implants for our body is to also remove them from the earth. So this consciousness, planetary consciousness shift happens through our bodies, just like
Yeah.
it happens for Earth. It's hard to grasp it. Talk about these things is very advanced, but I think this is important to mention because it's also part of the process right now.
Yeah. And I trust because the truth will come more and more on social media. Even the science will start to speak about things that is out of the ordinary. So
Mm.
that's how everything is connected with we as beings. When we
Mm.
transform and embody that high energy, actually, we affect the planet in itself through
Mm.
our physical body. So, yeah, it's coming. Is will be a brain catch up. The human brain has to catch up with whatever is to come. Um, but
I think it's also like embodying, time and space integrated in this physical form. Time is like the cosmic, like divine timing, is what we feel as presence, and the physical body is the space. So if you can combine with time and space, one, that's why it's like the cross,
yeah,
oneness, then you start to recreate your life because you are more present in your body. So when you realize that it's not linear timing that we are living in. It's a circle, is what you experience in your body. The more you can be aware of what you're experiencing in your body and be present with that and alchemize it consciously, you recreate. Of course, you start to change the meaning of past lives. You change the meaning of your future too, because you changed your presence in this moment in the body too.
Yeah, is trust the divine timing and to
Yeah.
make space in your beingness.
Mm-hmm.
So amazing. I love it. So beautiful hearts. How, because I see like some people don't understand why we bring Atlantis here, but it's because in Atlantis what's happening, we lived in that time to our full potential. We are generator for Mother Earth. So when all that collapsed, now we don't bring that time here, but we bring the remembrance of how we felt in our body and lived. And again, unlocking and make space in the body to be those generation for Mother Earth, because everything is happening through us. We bring heaven on earth through this physical body.
Mm.
So that's the current planetary shift in consciousness happening right now. And if the brain will not understand Atlantis, this because the memory of how we work with Mother Earth and how we was assisting her as she is assisting us, because we are in unity. So something more to add, Ada?
And united with each other, like in this deeper space that is not related to codependency, that it's not related to this attachment to each other, but like embodied state of being in the presence that empowers you, and then coming together, working together from our being able to stand tall on our own field energetically and channel our unique ways of being and energies and channeling abilities, whatever. So
Yeah,
that authentic way of being and trusting it and coming together all in our unique ways, that's powerful. That's what it means
exactly.
to be really empowered and united with each other and a
And
higher consciousness.
yeah, and to become the leader of your own life. And
Mm,
if everybody become the leader of their own life, then we don't need leaders because we are in alignment with life itself. And
that's perfect.
then we understand our role here on earth to come together and work together.
That was very well said.
So it's really interesting. I love it. So now to understand why Atlantis it speaks in this time is because of the memory and because we lead through example from being in that state of presence. So thank you, beautiful hearts. This was the current planetary shift of consciousness and through what we are experiencing right now. Take care and see you here next time.
See you.